All right, let's talk about coloring in grease pencil. Coloring, I think, is one of the more confusing things that we can do, but let's try to break it down to make it so it's an enjoyable experience. So right now, I have the line work started, and if I go up here, I'm just gonna kind of pull this up a little bit. You can see I grabbed that until I got the vertical arrow, and I can see here's my line work, and if I turn the eyeball off, I can see that. Here's whiteout. Okay, so I can kind of see it like that. And then if I go to my materials, I have the black material and I also have the whiteout material. Now, I'm just going to kind of go here and I'm gonna, if I pull this down, you can see that I can see my layers here. And again, I can middle mouse drag here. And down here, I can middle mouse drag and I can choose this to be my materials. Notice, okay, this is line work and then this is whiteout. I just double clicked on this and I named this whiteout underscore material. So that way I don't get confused. I want to make sure that I'm on either my materials or on my layers. So now let's add a fill. Okay, let's say if I wanted to color this. First thing I'm going to do is add some colors that I want to use. So you can see this little arrow up here. I can click on that, or I could press N as a new, and this is going to pop up. If I go to tool, as long as I'm in draw mode, this should pop up. Now I can scroll down and I can see the palette section right here. If I want to grab colors from this, I'm going to simply go to my whiteout layer and I'm going to put that opacity to 0. Then I'm going to create a new palette by clicking on this icon right here, and it's going to create a new palette. And I can see that the palette right now has nothing. So I'm going to go here to this, whatever color this is, and I'm going to grab the eyedropper. And then I can come here and I can click on this, and then I can click on the plus sign, and I can see that I have now a new color on my palette. Then I can continue that process until I have all the colors that I want. Now, of course, you don't have to do this, but I feel like it will make our life easier when we're adding color later. Okay. And let's see, some pinks, looks like. Maybe I'll kind of do this blush. And not sure if there's exact pink as the background, but I'll just go ahead and select this anyway. So they look pretty similar. If I realized they were too similar and I didn't want something, I could just hit this minus sign and you can see I deleted it. Okay, might as well have true white and also true black. Why not? Okay, great. That's a pretty good palette for this. Now I think I'm ready to kind of begin filling things in. So to fill things in, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to call this fill underscore layer. Okay, again, so I'm not confused what I have selected. So this is my layers, and then I'm going to have another one down here, and I'm going to call this one new. I'm going to call this fill underscore material. Okay, now I'm going to put fill material above whiteout. There we go. Now I have my fill layer selected. That's good, and fill material. Now for fill material, I don't want that to be a stroke. I want that to be a fill. Now, just so you're understanding how this works, I'm just going to kind of pull this up a little bit, pull this up. Okay. So for the fill materials, it can be kind of confusing because let's say if I go here and if I grab this color, okay, or let's see, this color. Okay, now you might think, okay, I'll go ahead and get started. And what I can do is I can click and drag and you can see that, wait, what's going on here? We have this. Well, what's happening is, I'm just going to unpin this. I can see that there's two things. There's material color, and then there's attribute color. And right now, the attribute color is set to black. If I go to the material, it should be whatever I draw here. There it is. Okay. Now I might think, well, hey, that's great. I could color, and I could color that. But if I switch this to a different color, let's say I go to white and try to do something else, it's going to change everything. And then if I try to change it to another color, you can see everything is changing. So I don't want to do that. I suppose what I could do is I could create a new material for every color, but that's going to be kind of a pain as well. So instead of doing that, I'm going to hit Control Z to get rid of all this. Instead of doing all that, I'm not going to care about whatever color this is. Instead, I'm going to go here to the attribute. Now you can see here, here's material and here's attribute. When I'm in color attribute, that means I can kind of change it. And now if I go here, if I choose this color and if I make a mark, then if I go to a different color, you can see that I can make another color. Then I can make another color. And I can make as many colors as I want on this one material. So that's why I call it fill material, not like peach material or red material. Okay, so I'm going to undo all of that. And I'm just going to go ahead and color this in. So if I go to this first material here, I'm going to make sure that I'm on my brush. Again, I'm on the right layer, fill layer. I'm on the right material, fill material. I can see fill is on, and I also have attribute color selected. Now, if I click, and this is going to be kind of weird because if I go like this, you can see how I draw and you can see how that does that. So it's kind of a weird thing, but I'm just going to kind of do my best to kind of almost kind of copy that outside edge that I have. And if I stop, that's fine. I can just kind of continue. I can make another mark. And it's going to kind of, think of it, it's kind of like lassoing, and it's going to kind of color everything inside of your mark. Now this, you can see I went from here to here, and it looks like it's coloring on the outside, but don't let that trick you. When you come this way, you can see how it switches. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but there you can see that I colored the face. Now, because I'm in attribute mode, I can switch color and I can see that color stays. Now I can middle mouse wheel and kind of zoom in, and I could color this. Okay, then I could go to like this one and I could color this. It might be easiest to just kind of go like that, and then I'm going to color the inside of the mouth black. There we go. Okay, great. So I can start to see that I've got something going. If I go to white out here, again, I can kind of change this opacity. I kind of see what I've got going on. Now I could maybe go back to my fill layer, and I'm going to just go ahead and kind of clean up anything that I missed. Okay, excellent. Whoop. There we go. Nice. Okay, so that's looking really good. And now let's take a look here. So if I go here, I'm just going to kind of bring this opacity down. Notice I could go here and I could turn off the eyeball of that if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to see, now I can come here and I can kind of see what's going on. And okay, great. So that's why I'm kind of using that whiteout layer as a guide. If I go back to my fill, I can see what I've got going on as my fill. I could also go here and I could turn the opacity of my fill down, and I can kind of see what I've got going on. Okay, great. So in the next lesson, I'm going to talk about how to do some of the shadowing on the face.